Hi guys, how's it going today? Today is January 23rd, it's about 12:30 p.m. I'm going to do a quick update on Bitcoin and where we stand with it. So I think that the bottom is very near. I've seen variations of different technical analysis. I agree with the majority on the internet. I also disagree with some on the internet as well. But this still stands very strong, what I talked about before, right? This right here, you can even consider it like that because it's a bull trap for some regions, right? I just hovered along the 55 EMA. And what you see right here on a 2-hour chart very clearly, first of all, is a massive rejection twice. Okay, so basically what this means, let me show you guys another example of a really big rejection, okay? So it rejects, it, for example, tries to break the 55 EMA here, but couldn't. And here, it finally tries to make a bull attempt, right? But it shoots it up, and because there's a long wick, the bears pushed it back down. So that psychology alone implies that the bulls have been trying very hard here to even break the 55 EMA resistance, and finally they make a hurrah attempt right here, okay? They get it up to about $12,000 there, and boom, it gets shot right back down to about the 11. This is a reversal signal. Now we look for other reversal signals in the 2-hour chart that signal it. Here it signals that the bulls are starting to lose control already. Right here, the bulls are trying, they're trying, and here we go, we get the shooting star right there, that gets rejected. The bulls push it up, but the bears push it back down, rejecting it instantly, signaling a reversal. So if you see a doji, for example, here at the top of an uptrend, right, it signals also a reversal. So now, if we look right here as well in the 2-hour chart, which is, it's got an hour and 28 minutes forming, just to be very clear. On the 1-hour one, it already has that candle forming. On the 30-minute one, it already has this shooting star forming right there. And if we look on the 2-hour chart, this right here acts as a massive bull break area, right? If you go to 4-hour chart or even a daily, for example, it looks a little bit better almost. Looks kind of a little bit better, but because these overlap there, I will consider that a bull trap region because it basically breaks slightly above the 55 EMA, then comes right back down. So this is a very relevant area for me to be using my support and resistances, which hovers from the top to the 55 EMA to here. And we're going to isolate this specific area, okay? The wave count is almost done right now, and yesterday I predicted this in many of my videos actually, where it could get to about 10,500, maybe 10,800-ish at most, or 600, sorry, at most. And let me show you guys how I deduced that, okay? I deduced it because I've been doing an Elliott wave count for a very long time, and my count goes like this: 1, 2, this is all 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And this is the 4th area right there that reaches a critical apex point right around there, like this. Now, if I break down my Elliott wave further, right, I saw some people annotate it very differently, like A, B, C, D, E, and stuff like that. And I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that's out on the internet right now. I'm getting lots of mixed signals between 6K bull runs, between 10K supports, 11K supports. So there's a lot of mixed signals out there on the internet, but what we try to do is compile as much information as possible, and then we gather it, we dissect it, and then we formulate our own opinion. And that's what matters most, right? So the 1-hour candle, as you guys can see, is getting heavily rejected right now. It has got one of the nastiest candles that I've seen so far. I mean, we're talking about, okay, like look right here, guys. If you guys look right there, the high was 11,400, and right now the low is 11,100. We're talking about like a $350 range gap right here in between this specific 1-hour candle alone where it was rejected. That's a really big rejection in my part right here. The demand is running very low there. You can just tell demand is like just waning off right there. On the 1-hour, it looks like it's increasing, right? Big volume. But if you guys go like a lower one, so you see it slowly waning off there, especially in the 5-hour, I bet. You see it dying off here, right? So it picked up heavily during the uptrends. Now it's just slowly waning off. On the 3-minute charts, even lower. On the 1-minute chart, probably super low as well. So on a 4-hour chart, yes, it will reflect a very high amount of activity there in terms of volume. But I don't think that we're quite there yet. I don't know if 4 is going to end right there. I don't know if it's going to break it. But to me, this is what I'm doing. I'm treating about 11,600 as my resistance point. And if it breaks this point, then I will be very interested in a lot of altcoins soon. You guys got to remember as well that when Bitcoin pumps, okay? You have to remember this double-edged sword of Bitcoin, when it pumps or when it dumps. Sometimes, right, if alts are at an extremely all-time low, And Bitcoin, for example, is at an extremely all-time high. For example, when the fork cancellation happened, right, Bitcoin was at a very, very high peak there. They were expecting a big dump after the fork cancellation, but the fork was canceled, and then everybody dumped, guys, Bitcoin. We're talking like a $3,000 dump, I think, that 1 hour alone. Remember? When was it when it was canceled? I honestly couldn't remember. Sometime in the last quarter of last year. And then everyone dumped their alts and they all bought altcoins, right? And then altcoins shot up as like a rocket because it was in a consolidation pattern that was close to breaking out already. But right now, because altcoins are at a very low point and so is Bitcoin, we have to remember that only some altcoins will rise with Bitcoin and some people will actually sell their altcoins and then you know they'll go into BTC to ride in the rally, right? So we have to remember that as well, and we have to pick our battles very wisely to see which ones correlate to Bitcoin and which ones doesn't. I know a really big one that correlates to Bitcoin is EOS, is NEO, right? Right now, is IOTA and XRP. So those are kind of the main three that I'm looking at to day trade right now. I'm expanding it to, of course, to, hold on, did I say that? IOTA, XRP, EOS, and NEO? Yeah, I did. And this one will probably be Ethereum Classic that I'll be looking at today. So let's go over some of these scenarios, okay? If this wave count is right, I saw Hygen, by the way, count this as an ABCDE. I don't know if I'd really agree with that right now. But either way, this last one has to have 5 waves there. I also don't agree with the head and shoulders like that for an inverted. I guess you can call that an inverted head and shoulder, yeah. But for myself, I more so, hold on, A, B, C, yeah, never mind, you could do that. That's cool. But yeah, so let's say you did call this a head and shoulder, right? This is basically looking to form right now. That's the neckline that people are looking to break. If it breaks this neckline right there, then people are going to go long on it, right? So this is a major resistance right now. That's getting very close to this critical apex point as well. So this number right here, guys, maybe it's 14.5, right? Depending on how far down the line we trend here. But this specific point is what I've been watching for a very long time to reach a critical apex. Now this is 1610 taken from the wave 1 resistance right there, where wave 4 does not retrace into that territory, right? So I think it'll most likely bounce off of there and make one more wave down. Of course, we're going to test these ranges again. We are absolutely going to test 10K again, right? Who knows? The very 5th wave could be very, very tiny coming down, because I do count 4 already, right? It could be super tiny, guys, for all we know. For all we know, it could be like ending right around 10K. But of course, we also have to keep in mind that it could also get down to these regions again, up to 9,300, right? And we can also get an extended 5th wave, right? But either way, if we zoom out, we can kind of see it sort of wedging into this pattern, even if we do it like that, right? Let's say we go to a 4-hour chart. Some of these would be considered bear traps with only wicks overlapping it. So something like this almost, okay? So maybe for the day, we'll end up closing with a really good daily candle because it's still on its wave 4 uptrend, in my opinion. But I still think that we're going to make one more test as a support because we don't really have a long, massive wick for rejection. Like, for example, these are long, massive wicks for rejection with tons of volume, right? I mean, if we want to consider it an uptrend on the daily, we got to have some sort of volume that can be indicative and it would imply an uptrend. Right now, this volume is got 5 hours to go, less volume than yesterday so far, okay? On the 4-hour, it's definitely waning off there. We're getting these long wicks of rejection. Every time we get long wicks of rejection up there, it just implies that the demand is just getting really low and the bulls are just have lost strength and the bears have regained control of the market. So I'm watching for this critical apex point here, and I've got many points labeled here. So I'm watching to see, first of all, if my wave count is wrong, and all of a sudden this breaks around the 11,600 region here at this critical apex point. But I don't think it's possible right now based on these rejections and all these wicks and also reversal candles that are showing right now. Now, if this does not break upwards, right? If this breaks upward, I'll keep my eye on it. I want it to close successfully above the 55 EMA at least before I go into my alts. So I need to have some solid sign of confirmation to minimize my risk. I don't like entering a position anymore from, let's say I'm entering a swing trade position. I do not whatsoever enter based on RSI, okay? I only enter based on RSI and MACD and histogram, and only when I'm scalping, okay? Only when I'm scalping. So we have to keep that very clear. When I enter a swing position, I need solid confirmation of an uptrend because I don't play the style of trying to catch the very bottom or catching the top. So we have to adjust our style for different types of trading positions that we're entering. And for a swing position, because I want to hold it for a few days, up to 2 weeks or so, I want to confirm a major uptrend first of all before entering any position. And that's crucial to understand. And also you have to ask yourself what kind of trader you are, okay? Are you someone who wants to try to catch the very bottom, right? Or are you someone who wants solid confirmation before entering anything? So it just depends on the kind of trader that you are, and it also suits your personality. So if this fails right here, I will be expecting some sort of wedge, right? Now we're taking that from the daily. Now if we took it from the extreme ends, wick to wick, for example, we'll go body to body. Like I mentioned yesterday, we got this lower channel here as well, right? Where every time it gets to here, this area right there, it just wants to bounce. So I'm not going to discount it for a moment. That two things can happen. One, it could break out of here because the wave count was wrong, but I need confirmation on a 4-hour candle or a 4-hour chart right here for Bitcoin to break above the EMA. So maybe 18.8. So if that doesn't fail, I'm going to expect some sort of wedge into maybe this area right here first, okay? Into this area, especially around the 10K region where I'm going to watch to see if this fifth wave is truncated or not. And of course, right, if it fails, it's very logical to assume that it would fall into this lower region down over here where it could reach up to the low of 92.31 right there. So these critical points are going to act as a support. But, you know, there's always that worst case scenario where we end up breaking down here as well. And unfortunately, we do get to the 8-9K ranges again. So these are my quick thoughts for Bitcoin. We have not confirmed an official uptrend yet because we haven't officially broken past any major EMAs. 55 is a big one, okay? I know a lot of long-term holders will also look at 100 and 150 and 200 simple moving averages, exponential moving averages, etc. But specifically myself as a day trader and also to my style, I'll only look at 55 and below because it suits my personality a lot better and how I like to trade, put it that way. So these are my thoughts on Bitcoin. If you guys enjoy these videos, I'd really appreciate an upvote on Steemit. And make sure you guys also like, subscribe, and share to all the stuff on social media like YouTube and also on Twitter. Have yourself a great day, guys, and please watch for these key zones that I'm indicating. See you guys later.